Welcome to the Outside the Business Boxes podcast, where we're talking about how to ignite your business today for the future using systems for everything you do in your business to make your life, your employees' lives, and your customers' lives easier for you to ultimately enjoy your business and, of course, make more money. I'm your host, Chad Murray.
Thank you for listening to Outside the Business Box podcast. I am Chad Murray, your host today, as always. And I wanted to get into today noise. Everybody's talking about a downturn and everybody's talking about the economy. Everyone's talking about how bad Joe Biden is. Everyone's talking about this, that, the other, and Russia and everything else. And you know what the fact of the matter is? None of that stuff really matters if you know your numbers and you know what you're doing and you know how to gas up, gas down, know where to spend your money, how to do it. Maybe, you need to make some shifts and changes, but here's what it's all about. It's about what you're doing to keep being successful. It doesn't matter. What are you going to do to not listen to all that noise to where it doesn't affect you? I mean, we're in the chimney industry, a lot of us, and if you're not in the chimney industry, you're also in the service industry. Services tend to actually get busier in a downturn, but prices go down a little bit. And I know there's been this big push over the years to raise your prices. Well, I mean, raise your prices to the point of that by raising your prices, no one's going to buy anymore. That happened to Masters, my company. We raised our prices too much, and we saw an immediate downturn in approvals. And when we went right back to where we were normally. Now, being a Texas chimney company, we actually deal with this noise all the time. We're actually up for the year, but I was listening to all the noise. I've talked about it in a few podcasts back, but about anxiety and stuff. And the fact of the matter is I'm up for the year, which is odd, but we still get our financials butt kicked, and we're in the middle of figuring things out for a large company, pivoting, doing what we need to do. So, I mean, a lot of businesses, they just try to make what they're doing better, but sometimes that's not enough. You have to pivot to do something else at times. And as you get larger, with me, so my model for years has been make a ton of money 6 months of the year, lose a ton of money 6 months of the year. Try to make the bad months suck less was kind of the model this year. And you know what? I don't know if I've said it on the podcast previously. I know I said it on Chat with Chad, but our model this year was suck less in these 6 months. And I think I've been thinking about that over the last few weeks, and like, suck less. What a great message to everybody. Let's suck less. Here I'm a business coach, and everyone laughs when I said that about itself. But in my own mind, I'm saying let's suck less. Why not win more, or win all the time? And so why don't I figure out that model instead of trying to suck less? So let me tell you what's behind suck less. Suck less is taking what we already do and try to do more of that so that we can keep losing money but not suck as bad. Well, that's been my motto for 25 years, essentially. I just came up with the suck less here recently. I got to think something else. I've tried a million other businesses and nothing really would work. And so there is no secret out there that masonry is part of our business. And it's no secret that I've had other guys kind of show me a little bit more light, but has anyone really showed me that masonry is the answer? Yes and no. I always knew it was the answer. I just never could find anybody. I never put the right energy into finding a mason or more than one mason and keep going from there. So I would do what everybody does. I would say, well, it's, we're full of Hispanics in Texas. Everyone, it's hard to find a mason, and it's hard to train. It's hard to this. And all I did for 25 years was make excuses. So I listened to the noise. I made my own noise in my head. And last year, we finally made it a point that we need one mason. And we found him. And now we're on a mission that we need 3 masons, and we're trying to find 3 masons. My mason guy's booked out for 5 to 6 weeks right now. Everybody else can do a job this week or maybe next week. And so why I'm now looking at everything, and I'm not listening to all the noise out there and everyone's saying down economy, this, that, the other. And it's like, you know, I went and made sure my AdWords was working correctly. And I dialed it way up, like stupid high up. And why did I do that? And how did I do that? Because I knew my numbers. I knew if I got my guys in front of enough people, they're going to close 40 to 45% of everybody with an average ticket of $4,800. And right there you go. So if I can go give them 100, if I can schedule 100 jobs, we're going to sell, let's just say 45 of them at $4,500 or $4,800 average ticket, then boom, we'll do it. So I started doing that 3 or 4 weeks ago. And in June, this week, this is the week of June 20th of 2022, we actually are going to make money this week. And we have a path through the summer to not really, all the stress of me of the collapse of listening to all the noise is gone. Because we're doing the right thing for our company. We're doing what was painful for me for 25 years, and we're selling masonry now. And we're out there. I'm actually in AdWords, did a campaign last week on masonry, just masonry, brick fix it, keyword stuff, and opened that up last Monday. And right now, I'd say 30% of our opportunity estimates we have right now are pure masonry. And so I don't care if it's a mailbox, the side of a house, a whole house, pool, cope. I don't care. I mean, let's get my guys out there to sell it and get some masonry going. We'll stop doing that kind of masonry come wintertime, but we're going to pivot into doing all kinds of masonry as part of our business and hopefully have 3 to 4 masons working for us by next year. And we can be a full-fledged masonry company. We're also going to be hiring a carpenter that can do outdoor patios and kitchens and stuff like that. And we're pivoting to just do whatever we can do to be a strong company. I mean, for me, I mean, this may sound crazy, but it's a small number for me. We just need to make around $50,000 to $70,000 more a month in a couple projects. If we got 2 or 3 big projects a month that could do that, I would be able to. I would not ever lose money. So that I just have to bring in those type of jobs. So I mean, if I do out, and we're also really going to be heavily getting into fireplace installs. And so I'm expanding to do whatever I can to be more diversified in my same space. So, I mean, if you're just lining chimneys and you're just doing that, or you're just cleaning windows, or you're just doing a maid service, you kind of might, as in a downturn, might want to add some services. Add something that can make a little bit more profit for you, and try to do that. Now, you can always turn those off a little bit in your buying season, but maybe not. Maybe it becomes a buying season for that, and you've added something more to it. I mean, so for us, we're committed to all masonry right now, just 100%. I mean, I'm just trying to get $20,000 to $30,000 a week in jobs of just masonry, which would profit around, like I said, 50 to 60,000 a month, which would shore me up for 6 months a year. And so what are you doing? Are you listening to the news? Are you reacting to everything and woe is me? Or are you actually doing something about it? Because if you do something about it, guess what's going to happen? You're going to maintain, you're going to be the same, and maybe a little downturn. But if you start working on, this is the biggest thing. When you start working on your business and you start doing things to your business that you never did, and you take some chances, do some higher advertising, different models, it'll be funny how you know, like let me give you an example. AdWords. Most people would be scared to spend $1,000 to $2,000 a day on AdWords. Okay. That sounds insane, right? Even for a big company, that sounds like stupid money. Well, the greatest thing about AdWords is and I know a lot of people think this isn't true, but it is. If you go put $2,000 a day on AdWords with the right, so without getting into the long, you got to have AdWords set up correctly. They got to be going to landing pages to meter to numbers that you can know it's only for AdWords. To an account that you can see how many phone calls, listen to them, and then you can know if they are actually just coming from AdWords. So you know that you're like getting appointments just from AdWords. And so when you've done that and that's all done correctly, you then can dial it up for certain keywords and not spend. You can actually literally take the campaigns and make the keywords work correctly on what's hot right now that people are buying and only put it into that. So here's always the problem. Here's always the problem with having someone else do your AdWords. If you're not in contact with your AdWords company doing your AdWords and going on a big deep dive into your AdWords account on what right now is converting, you need to literally stop listening to this when I'm done and call your AdWords company up and have a review of your AdWords and say, listen, what's hot right now is masonry repairs and whatever. And if it's been raining a lot, water leaks. I want chimney sweeping and some other stuff turned off. And I want to just put all my money into this stuff because these are the clicks that I want right now. And then I want to dial it up to tripling my budget right now for a week and let's see what happens. And now you're pinpoint targeting. And what'll happen is if those aren't getting clicked on, Google will not charge you if they're not being clicked on. That's the point. So, I mean, when you look at that, people always, you do get some crazy stuff and everybody's always like, oh, Google's a scam, they blah, blah, blah. Well, and they don't work. Well, it's because you don't have it set up right. I clearly am scheduling appointment. We scheduled, on a Monday yesterday. It's slower today, but it's only 10, not even 10 o'clock yet, Tuesday morning, recording this. Yesterday, we scheduled 24 appointments. I mean, I know that a lot of bigger companies, bigger than me, aren't even scheduling 24 appointments a day right now. And so, and yesterday my ad spend was $754. So, what are you doing to make sure that phone is ringing and you're getting in front of people? That's what matters. And if you know your numbers, is it really scary to go high on AdWords if you know you're going to close people? If you sell wood stoves and stuff, right now is a perfect time to throw out a wood stove advertisement and say there, if you have any in stock whatsoever, is to push them to get out of there, and then that's probably a unicorn statement. I know a lot of people don't have those in stock, but if you have stuff in stock, especially in your warehouse, advertise to get rid of that stuff, have a sale on it, or at least when I say a sale, advertise it that it is for sale, not exactly on sale. But anyway, for most of my listeners are probably smaller companies. So, what are you doing to make the phone ring? I know you even might be booked out a month or two, but what are you really doing to make the phone ring? If you're fortunate enough to be busy until September, the phone will organically ring. That is great. If you're not, and you're scratching your head, what can you do? Well, you damn sure can get on AdWords, get your account correctly, and make that happen. And so, but for your own anxiety's sakes, don't buy into all this down economy stuff. People probably aren't buying as much when it comes to the prices that you probably had in the last 6 months, because people are being more price conscientious now. And so I'm not advocating for you to lower your price. I'm advocating for you to lower your price if you're not getting closing, if your closing ratio is going down. You need to pivot. Stop listening to the noise out there telling you to raise your prices and do it, because some people need to lower your prices. Some of you are way too high on pricing. But if you're booked out, fine. You got it, great. But honestly, when you look at what is happening in your business, you have to react. And if you sit back and hold the thought that you are that it will just get better, or if it's going to get worse, or at least the fall's going to hit, or your buying season, whatever. No, you have to react to your business, because you don't want to get caught with all of a sudden no work and nothing going on. And so I wanted everybody to understand that knowing your numbers is such a real thing. And I mean, having to know your closing averages, and you know what, I hear a lot of people sit there, like especially guys that are 4 or 5 truck companies. They're so busy, and maybe they're a truck or maybe they're not, and they're like, it's just so hard to do, and they don't do it. It's like I gotta call it out, because I just don't understand. It's not that hard at all to go through your appointments, add up what the total sales were, put it per person so you can see who's selling it, put the production crews, if it's not Eat What You Killed model or whoever, either way, put the numbers to everybody, put how many appointments you guys have, put how many times the phone rang this week, see how many appointments you made. I mean, you literally can sit down for an hour every week and do that. I guarantee you watched a Netflix show, or you went and had a beer, or you did something. If you literally got up early on Saturday morning or Sunday morning and went before the family, and you did it where there is no noise, you could do your numbers really quick, especially after you set up your spreadsheet right away. And you just literally go click through your CRM estimating program and see what you did last week, and then count up what you did next week. And now you can start looking at what's happening in your business exactly to make some good decisions if you don't have that. If you're just going by your CRM reporting, I guarantee you it's most of the time it's wrong. And so you got to make sure that if that reporting is correct, do it by hand first. If it ends up being correct, great. You got a great CRM telling you the truth. If not, I would do it by hand. But I mean, SBOs and closing averages and all that generally aren't on most reports or most CRM programs. So you need to know these things, because then you also need to put, how much did I spend in advertising? One of the biggest things I think smaller companies do is they don't advertise enough, if at all. They're able to work pretty much on something. Well, let me tell you, most of you who don't advertise now, in the next 2 years are going to have to learn to advertise, or you're going to be very greatly affected. You better learn how to advertise and learn who to hire, and find the right person to hire to advertise. Because if you don't, you're going to be affected, crying to everybody. And that's exactly what you need to figure out. And so, guys, that's my time today. I wanted everyone to understand the noise out there. Dial it down on your own head, and get to know your numbers better, so you know where to spend your money, and you know how to spend it wisely, so that you can start making more money or keep the profit that you have now. So with that said, guys, that's my time. I appreciate it. If you want to be coached by me or talk to me, go ahead and go to Outside the Business Box. There's a button to schedule a chat with me. Go ahead and schedule it. It is free. We'll sit there, and at a minimum, just make an appointment and let's just talk. Let's talk about your business. If it's something that you feel a value in working when you talk to me, you may just go, well, I think I need this, and I can help you with your business pretty quickly. And we can get you on a better scenario with your business. And I'm not saying you're bad or good. I'm just saying we can get you running a better business the way you prefer doing it versus the way you might be now. And we could get you on into my group. It's like one-on-one, and it will really, really help you take your business to the next level. And it doesn't have to be slow. It can be fast too. So again, go to OutsideTheBusinessBox.com, click on the schedule an appointment with me. And I look to see you soon. So thank you, everybody. And I will see you next week.